Hi, my name is Stacy Way, and I'm a LEED accredited professional. And today we're going to talk about sustainable sites. This presentation will be a brief introduction to the credits contained in the sustainable sites category. So let's get started. First, we're going to look at all the different credits offered in the sustainable sites section. Here we have a breakdown of all credits for all core LEED tracks. Let's look at the total possible credit points coming from this section. You can see that right here. These are the total points in sustainable sites offered in each section. We see that for obvious reasons, heavier emphasis is placed upon sustainable sites in the design and construction tracks, which are shown in green. Here we have a total available points ranging from 24 to 29 points, as opposed to the operations and maintenance track, which is shown in blue, where we have a maximum of 12 points possible. Keeping in mind that there are 100 base credit points in LEED, on average, the sustainable sites section holds approximately 25% of possible credits. LEED considers the location of a project to be the foundation of the sustainability of buildings and neighborhoods. For the purpose of this presentation, we will be focusing on the LEED reference guide for green building design and construction, which again are the credit tracks shown in green. They contain provisions for the following tracks: new construction and major renovations, LEED for core and shell, LEED for schools, and it also contains LEED for retail, but that credit program is currently in the pilot phase, so we won't be covering it directly today. LEED defines the most sustainable sites to be locations that reduce transportation demand, restore degraded or contaminated areas, minimize impacts such as light pollution, and manage stormwater to protect water quality and aquatic ecosystems. That definition is reflected in the distribution of credits throughout the section. It is clear that importance is placed upon transportation, site selection, site design and management, and stormwater management. 9 credits total deal with transportation, 7 with site management, 3 with site selection, and 2 with stormwater management. Heavy emphasis is placed upon transportation in part because LEED believes having a green building in an auto-dependent location is counterproductive. And according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, transportation accounted for 32% of total U.S. greenhouse gas emissions in 2007. Some architects and designers contest the importance placed upon transportation, but greenhouse gas emissions from transportation are the result of 3 fundamental factors: vehicle technology, transportation fuels, and land use. Millions upon millions of research and development dollars are continually allocated towards improving fuel efficiency and reducing the carbon intensity of motor fuels, which is fantastic, but land use is what ultimately drives growth in transportation demand. And urban sprawl is increasing transportation demand faster than those research and development dollars can keep up with. There are some important concepts to be mindful of, especially in the sustainable site section: the building footprint and the project boundary. The same building footprint and project boundary must be used across all prerequisites and credits. The building footprint is the area on a site used by the building structure. It is defined by the perimeter of the building. The project boundary, as defined by LEED for single buildings, is generally limited to the boundaries of the site. This includes the total area within the legal property boundaries of a site, encompassing all constructed and non-constructed areas. According to LEED's minimum program requirements, the project boundary must include all contiguous land that is associated with and supports normal building operations for the building, including all land that was or will be disturbed. The project boundary may not include land that is owned by another party. LEED also released the LEED 2009 NPR supplemental guidance document to provide aid in special circumstances. When a project includes multiple buildings, LEED allows the project team to determine a reasonable site boundary. The overall site boundary does not have to coincide with the project boundary. The boundary must include the portion of the project site that is submitted for LEED certification, and it must be used consistently across credits. In these instances, the U.S. Green Building Council created the application guide for multiple buildings and on-campus projects, which provides further guidance. The manual has yet to be updated for LEED 2009, but most of the concepts will most likely remain the same. Before we get started, let's look at the different components of the LEED credit. There are over a dozen different sections contained within each credit. For the purpose of this presentation, we will focus on the credit's intent and requirements. We will also discuss strategies to achieve the credit and examples of projects employing these strategies. I'd like to point out that the documentation guidance contains helpful information about what will need to be submitted to achieve this credit. The documentation guidance section typically consists of performing any calculations as described in the requirements, documenting visually through plans, product data, or cut sheets, photos taken on-site, and providing a narrative describing your approach to the credit. So as you go along in the project, it's important to document credits that are being implemented through photos, and that's something to always keep in mind. Also, exemplary performance is not offered to all credits. Exemplary performance is awarded in the form of innovation and design credits, so there's a limited amount that may be achieved.
Please note that this video only included the LEED site credits for this course, and as you can see in the graphic, there are a lot of other topics to be included in the entire LEED site credits and Introduction to Sustainable Sites course. For more information, go to LearnCADToday.com, look at the professional library.